Okay, I'll let that be. Okay, hello everyone. So sorry about that. Um, I hope everyone's having a beautiful Friday morning. I decided to just jump on here for a little bit today, just to connect with you and kind of share a few things with you. I had another idea for a design for YoYo quilt, and I wanted to share that with you. But first, before I do that, I want to welcome everyone who's new to my channel, Echo Art with Carmella-T, and welcome everyone who's coming back to welcome back. I hope everyone has a beautiful, safe weekend. We have a lot of storms, certain parts of the United States. So stay cool and hydrated for sure. So with that, what I want to share first, I guess, is the update on my book. So, The Bridge of Life is a very long, extended poem, and I'm going to have a whole video on that. But I am waiting to get my author copies because in the sample that is on Amazon, the beginning of it's very nice, but it does not share with you, it doesn't kind of skip around and share with you the deeper or the middle or the end of the book. So I want to be able to share, to like do a couple little readings, little sample readings for you um, in that respect. So that book is it is published, and for those of you who are writers out there, you want to publish your own book, this and that. KDP is a wonderful place. They do provide guidelines. They will communicate with you for the formatting, and they will help you get your book out there. And then if it goes on to Amazon, in which I just set up is what they call like an author's hub. And it's like a little website of all your books. So you can start adding books that you want there. And then when people go on Amazon with the link, and I did put my link, it should be active now, but I put it up in on YouTube, right below my title there. So it's right below Echo Art with Carmella-T. So then you go to the author's hub or little website and you're able to see their books. So if anyone's out there writing and or you're inspired to write and you don't know where to begin, I started writing many when I was a very young adult, and I got some poems published. And at that time, having a literary agent, having an agent wasn't such a big deal. I had an agent, and today it people don't really, I don't want to say need agents, but it's more optional and just depending how you want to distribute your book. So anyway, I just wanted to update everyone with that, and that's on a very positive, happy note. And the other thing is that when we were doing the yo-yos, as you know, so I brought my yo-yo back here. These were made, these are 7-inch diameter, and they were made from the 14-inch um, circle of fabric cut out. So when by the time you make your yo-yo, it's about 7 inches. So what I came up with, and I just want to show you this first before I show you on the quilt. So what I came up with is I just love this yo-yo, and I'm like, I wonder what that would look like with a little yo-yo on it, like that. So it looks kind of cute, but I wasn't able to really get the full effect of what it would look like on a quilt. So this quilt that I already have, whoops, I'm just going to put my stuff to the side here for a moment. This quilt that I already have, I decided to lay out some of the smaller yo-yos onto it like this. and let me show you how beautiful this is. I'm going to show you as I lay them out because then you start to see the difference. Now, am I going to do that with this quilt? I'm not. But the next quilt I make, I may. Now, the size, you can see here, the fabric, and maybe I cut this one a little bit larger. You can see that makes a difference in the size of the yo-yo. So, anyway, I am laying these little yo-yos onto just kind of almost randomly. This one I really like that bright blue. I kind of like contrasting. I love contrasting anyway, by the way. So, I'm just laying these out and I am just loving this. Those are jets going over. I don't know if you can hear them, but look how beautiful that is. Isn't that just lovely? Isn't that gorgeous? So I am going to make the next yo-yo like this. It's going to have the little smaller rosette yo-yos in the middle, and that's what I'm going to do. So this is just, I'm just loving this whole project. And I hope that I'm inspiring you. I know some people are really interested in this. And so I'm going to put this to the side. And I want to share with you a little bit more about the bear. We started needle felting the other day. And as you know, I work on many projects. So the bear, I am working on the brown bear. And I'm going to just show you because I've had a lot of stuff going on since the last video. And because of that, um, and I'm preparing for another class. So and I just got the book finished. So, the formatting took a little bit, but I did get it, and I've been working on my next book to assure that its formatting is correct so I can get that out a little quicker. That book is on my Boro Sashiko inspired projects. And as you know, we focus heavily on using recycled fabrics and materials and supplies and organic. So that's where I lean on that book. So anyway, with that, what I wanted to share with you, because of that, because there's so much going on, this is an hour more of work than when I showed you the last video. Look at the size of that. This is not very big. Now it's an egg shape, which is fine because I really I want to build it. I want it to get longer. I want it to get higher. And so this is totally perfect. But I want to show you just like close up, if you can see. Look at the variations of the tan wool. The tan, the blonde. We were looking at these the other day. I mean, I just love, love, love. And this is natural. All this is natural. This is from the same sheep. And it's just I'm going to ask for more of this wool. Now I know that this particular sheep that this wool comes from is an older, like it's older. So hopefully there's more of this wool because this is going to make the most beautiful brown bear because the brown bears, as we were reading, they can be golden, they can be blonde, they can be tan, they can be like beige, they can be dark brownish, and with the tips kind of being like a silver or tan. I just all the earth tones just really I am in love with. So anyway, that's 1 hour work. So let's see if we can measure. It's not much because when we started, right, it was super duper teeny. But look, this is 5-inch diameter. That's what this is here. It doesn't look it. It really doesn't look it. But that's 5-inch diameter. That's what that is. And for length, so that's about 3. So that's about 3. That's a good size, but that's 1 hour of needle felting with a single needle. And would the plunger make any difference where it's multiple needles? I don't think so. And I have figured out, I think, what the difference is and why I don't like the plunger needle is the way, because the way a needle felting needle is made, it's kind of like two pieces of metal of needle creating a needle with notches on them. So then when you put them through the wool, it's pulling the hooked fibers together. So but it's got to kind of have a hooking effect, or barbed. That's what I want to say. It's like a barbed needle. That's what this is. Now, the plungers, I think the barbs on the plungers are less. Like they're not as prominent as they are on a single needle. I really think that's what's going on. That's why the single needle for me seems more effective. So, anyway, yeah, so that's how far I got. And the other thing I wanted to share with you on my research on the brown bear. So, in the last video, I was questioning because the polar bear, the anatomy is the back legs are definitely longer than the front. Now, with the brown bear, there's a slight variance between the back legs being longer than the front, but there's also a variance between the two back paws actually being larger than the front paws. And the other thing about the brown bear, sorry, I have to sip my coffee, and thank you for having coffee with me. The other thing about the brown bear is it stands up quite often. And now when it stands up, it's about 10 feet. So now, learning the behaviors, learning the anatomy, and there's a few other things I want to share with you about the brown bear. But learning this, I may in fact make the brown bear standing up, because I make them usually like this. Now, if I do that, I kind of lose maybe a little bit of the effect of the hump. Hi, Laura. Welcome. Yeah, so I lose the effect of the hump on the back of the brown bear, because when it stands, that hump's going to go in a tiny bit. Now, and I love the feature of the hump on the shoulders. So if I make it standing on all fours like my polar bears, I get to put that hump in. So what to do, I'm not sure yet. But this is a little sketch I made this morning, because this is the other thing I wanted to share with you. You see here, I'm kind of emphasizing the snout. Now, when I was reading about the anatomy to you the other day from it was the California Zoo, uh, the they were using, I believe they used the word dished snout. And I'm like, okay, so I need to take a closer look at what the dished snout meant. Because when I was looking at images of the brown bear, the snout, definitely compared to my polar bears are very angular. But the brown bear, it's almost like that snout is like right out, like separate almost, like just coming out from the cheeks and whatnot. But it also means dished, like a little bit of a curve. And they're not using the word curve, they're using the word dished. So it's a very slight, like kind of just like what I'm doing with my hand, even, just a very slight sloping kind of so I'm really excited to needle felt this bear. So this is as far as I've gotten, and you've seen me on my other project on this latest polar bear, this is where I was at one point too. But this weekend, this will be moving along very quickly. And I'm happy to say, but I had a number of things, and this happens sometimes. And like I said, especially with the book, I had a number of things that kind of was taking up my time. So now the thing with the brown bear is they eat salmon, just like the polar bears. They love fish. They love berries and shrubs. So this is really good to know because you can make like a little berry, because I'm thinking of this to make this brown bear kind of like next to a berry bush or shrub. And unfortunately, they will eat small animals. So this is good for people to know if you're on a hike and you have a little dog, or, you know, little medium-sized dog, you want to really keep that dog on the leash when you're out there. So so yeah, but I wanted to share that about the yo-yo quilt. It's the sweetest, most adorable. And with this idea of putting the smaller yo-yo in the middle like that, you could even put another little rosette. You could take a piece of random fabric and just roll it up and and sew it just a tiny bit, put it right in the middle, or put buttons. But and I may do that. I may do the random little rosettes in the middle, and this is for my next quilt. But I really wanted to share that with you today. Isn't that in the beginning of the video, Laura? You'll see I took the quilt that I made. I took the whole quilt that I made and I placed all the little rosettes in the middle. Cute, cute, cute. It really is. It just takes my heart. And so yeah, totally making more of those. And let's see. So needle felting. Oh yes. And the next thing is I will be piecing, yes, we will be pinning hats this weekend. Yeah, it totally looks like a garden. Here, I'm gonna do it again just a little bit here because you're on chatting and I want you to see it. I don't think it's gonna hurt to repeat it at all. It's just adorable. So I'm gonna put this down and I'm just gonna show. We'll do this again because it's so much fun. And these may be different sizes. This almost, if this was just a little smaller even, but look at how, I mean, this pops is just no way around. It just pops. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I feel like, I don't know what I did with that. This material here, this kind of little I call it a little snowdrops, this one, because I have so much of this material. I may just make a bunch more of these and then put all little rosettes in the middle. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure, look, this isn't like an original design by any means, but I gotta tell you, it's I'm sure people have done this, but I'm totally doing this. Now I'm not gonna do it, like I said, to this quilt, but, isn't that just a lovely though? And, it just is. I mean, you can't that even repeated and I didn't even notice it. But yeah, I mean, and I gotta tell you, I don't know about you, but I have found making the little ones goes much quicker, like much, much, much quicker. And I don't know if that's just my, like imagination, because we're still going in, we're still just gathering everything right in a circle. What fabric content is best for yo-yos? Good question. Um, I really believe the fat quarter cotton. And I say that because it just gathers so I mean, if you look at this, right? You look at this, you look at this, it just gathers beautifully. It's strong. It's a strong fabric. Now, if you use a silky fabric, which you could use, look, you could use silky fabric, you could use denim, you could use wool, you can use virtually anything you want. But the silky fabrics, in my opinion, are a little more difficult and time consuming to create the yo-yo when you're gathering. And it may not be time consuming. You may just fly through it. But when you sew it to a base or you don't sew it to a base, I don't think it's as strong as the cotton. I mean, but it's the silky fabric is beautiful. I mean, you can absolutely make a yo-yo quilt from the silky. And I just may do it. Like I need more ideas. I'm just thinking about it. What I'm thinking is if I do, let's say I do a small piece like this, and I want to make more small pieces like this for the craft fair. I want to make 2 more quilts and about 6 pieces like this for the craft fair in September. But if I make a small piece like this with all silky, that would be a good experiment because I kind of want to see when I'm moving it back and forth and around how how strong those stitches are. You know, I feel like I'd have to double up maybe in a fabric if it's too silky. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna check it out though. But that's a really good question. Um, I may even put more tie knots in. Polyesters are too, I mean, you know, I hate to say this. I can't believe I'm going to say this. So polyester, let's say, as opposed to organic silk, um, depending on, okay, the quality, there's another name for it, not quality, but it might be quality. But the weight, let's say, of the polyester, if it's a thin polyester, I feel like it would pull. Yeah, and puffy, it would be puffy. But if it's a heavier polyester, and we know polyesters and acrylics and synthetics in general do not break down very well, so it would probably last a long time. That's the upside of it. I mean, it really is. I can't think. Um, that's the good thing about using our scrap fabrics. Yeah, the polyesters and acrylics, they're going to have, if the weight is there, it will have some strength to it. So, and the puffiness, yeah. I mean, these cotton, like these cotton yo-yos, when before I had all 4 sides tie knotted, um, I don't know if you saw in one of the videos, I like picked it up and they all puffed. And they're not doing that now when they're all tie knotted down. But but yeah, so the yo-yo quilt is definitely, we may get it trending again because I think it's such a wonderful um project to do with scrap fabrics. I mean, to if we're going to recycle, yeah, the um the yo-yo quilt, and you can make these small, and like I said, you can make little rosettes. Like, just trying to see if I have any. I put all my scrap away. Yeah, I guess I have this. I'll show you with this, and you probably already know, but I'm going to show you anyway for those who might not. So this is kind of going in all different directions. This is a felt, this is what I call, this is manufactured felt, thrift shopped, um, felted wool. That's what this is. But if you take any fabric and you just kind of wrap it around, your finger, and I would say in a straight line, but look, this is working all right. This is interesting. You wrap it around like this. Oh, look how adorable that is. Seriously. Now, I probably can't do that even again if I tried. But look, it comes out. This is all scrap. So I'm going to pin this one. This is this is all scrap. But if you take tiny little pieces like this of scrap fabric and then you place it, I'm going to put this down a little so you can see, and you place it right smack. We'll put it in the middle of this one. Like, how beautiful is that? Now, let's just say the rosette is half the size of this. So that would be super. Oh, well, there's another quilt. I'm telling you, there's another quilt. I think I'm totally going to keep this idea right in front. This is this is how it happens, Laura. This is why it never ends because it's just where are you going to get your inspiration from today? It could just be kind of messing around with something, but is that just too? But that's how you make a rosette. Is you just wrap it around your finger and then you just sew it at the end there, and then you can put it on whatever you're going to put it on. A lot of people will cut leaves out and have the leaves coming up. Now, this particular fabric, I do not like. And I think I've probably communicated that a number of times, but it does look rather cutesy like that. Yeah. Laura's saying that we go down the rabbit holes. Yeah. It's very easy to do. But I mean, that's creativity, right? It's like you're doing one thing and then something else kind of just it by accident. This is how it happens. But but yeah, and the other type of rosettes that are really super adorable is yeah, if you use silk or denim and I turn that into a bead. Oh, yes, you could turn it into a bead. You know, the the beads, the needle felted beads are quite popular like in the jewelry department. But yeah, you could turn this into a bead too. But yeah, this fabric, the only reason I got it is for the class because it was requested by me to actually use this as a base. I would never use this as a base typically. I'm thinking of felting wrapped yarn into beads. A lovely, seriously. And how relaxing and beautiful those would come out. Yes, the yarn can be totally needle felted or wet felted. If you've got at least, I would say at least 60% of wool. Now, I say that, and then I have tested out some yarns that have felted beautifully. I don't know why, because I was pretty sure there wasn't 60% of wool in there. I would love to see the beads sometime, Laura. How lovely would that be? I've made them, but more, well, probably along with, I actually have a bag, but they weren't beads, but they were like beads, but what they were little deco balls. And I made them from about, I want to say about this big. And then I was going like all different sizes. Yes, on Patreon. That would be wonderful. That's what I love about Patreon. We can share our work and that would be lovely. And yeah, so anyway, with that, those are pretty much the updates, the projects we're working on. I mean, this weekend, because I am done with that book, but I am working on the other book, but I can kind of divide my time a little bit better. But I'll be after I teach my class tomorrow, I'll be hitting the ground running with more with these projects with the hat. We'll continue up, drop a video pinning a hat or pinning a few hats so you get the idea on how to do that, because I've got everything ready to go. So I've got it ready to go, I think, for two hats. Um, so yeah, I guess that's about it for today. I'm gonna check my notes and yeah, we've got enough on our plate. So with that, I hope that everybody has a beautiful, beautiful weekend. It cooled right down here in Vermont. It's nice and cool. We actually have rain and we're getting more rain. We had rain last night and we're getting more rain today. So, but it's the air quality still a little muggy, still a little bit humid. So, with that, I hope everyone has a beautiful, beautiful weekend. And if you have any questions on any of the projects you're working on, let me know. I'm happy to help you along. So, with that, you too, Laura, you have a beautiful day. And thank you so much for being with me, and love and light.